It's the next step in our evolution. More powerful, more beautiful, more capable of destroying the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I shall call him Adam.
Welcome back, true believers, to another episode of Antihero's Bar with No Name. I'm Avery, and I will be your bartender this evening. And today's cocktail, it is worthy of holding the Infinity Gauntlet, believe it or not. Today we are grabbing inspiration from the golden child of the cocoon himself. Emphasis on the him. Why? We will get into that in just a little bit when we get into a little bit of history of none other than Adam Warlock. Today we will be making the Golden Sovereign. Let's go to the history books. So Adam Warlock kind of has like a confusing history in the comic books because he has a bunch of cameos and a bunch of first appearances, a bunch of first full appearances, but we wouldn't really see him because that's what he was originally known as. He was not originally Adam Warlock. We would originally see him in Fantastic Four 66 and 67 from 1967, and we would see him introduced in this book as him, comes straight out of the cocoon. In 67 specifically, we kind of see like a little cameo of him in 66, but we see him face off against the Fantastic Four of all teams. He doesn't actually fight them. He ends up fighting the people that created him, which were considered to be Earth scientists named the Enclave. Stan the Man, Jack the King Kirby, would create this character as an adversary for the Fantastic Four, but they wouldn't really ever actually fight him, which is funny. But he would flee, so he would go away. A couple real life years pass. 1969 is the year, and he appears in Thor's solo series, also written by the GOAT, Stan the Man, and drawn by Jack the King Kirby. And he wouldn't really appear until Thor 163, 164 as a cameo, but he would come back as him. First full appearance of him. That's what it says. In Thor 165, and he's right there on the cover. He's going to face Thor. He's done with the Fantastic Four. He wants to face Thor now. And we wouldn't really see him again until 3 more years later. So he went away from the Fantastic Four for 2 years. And then he goes away from Thor for 3 years at this point, and it's 1972. And Roy Thomas and Gil Kane create Marvel Premiere. And Marvel Premiere #1 is the power of Warlock. It's like, oh, where did this guy come from? Oh, it's him, right? It's no longer Himothy. He is now Adam Warlock. But he has a new origin story. And the High Evolutionary, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, you kind of get a little hint of that. But High Evolutionary is the guy who essentially wanted to create him and gives him his true origin story. So Adam Warlock would go on to be a pretty prominent character in the cosmic side of things, and he would appear in mostly Jim Starlin work. So Jim Starlin's like Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Watch, stuff like that. So anything Infinity, he was Infinity. He was written to go against big bads such as like Thanos. He was a big adversary for Thanos because he becomes like a hero all of a sudden. And he wants to save the world. He doesn't want to destroy it anymore. That's essentially Adam Warlock in a nutshell. He's not a very complicated character. He's pretty straightforward. He's just very powerful. And we see that in the films. We see that in Guardians 3. And he was teased in Guardians 2 in the post-credit scene, but in Guardians 3, he's pretty formidable. I actually kind of liked his addition to the team. I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm excited to see how he incorporates his powers into the team. He's very powerful. He's like way more powerful than the rest of the Guardians, so we'll see. But enough about him. Let's make him, and let's check out the ingredients for the Golden Sovereign. So we're gonna start with the Reposado Tequila. I'm using Reposado, Milagro Reposado Tequila. I wanted to use Añejo because Añejo, gold, but I didn't have any. So I'm gonna use some Reposado, and you can use whatever tequila you like. So Blanco, Reposado, Añejo, whatever you find, whatever you have on shelf. And I'm sure it'll work great in this cocktail, but I do like the Reposado in most of my tequila-based cocktails. And then next up, we are going to use Laird's Straight Applejack Brandy, which is like one of my favorite spirits to use in all cocktails. One of my favorite cocktails is the Pink Lady. It's featured heavily in the Pink Lady cocktail. It's full of richness and it adds a lot of complexity to most cocktails. So give it a shot, Applejack. So last up for the spirits, we're gonna be using Liquor 43, which is gonna add a hint of vanilla to the cocktail. And it's a Spanish liqueur, and I like to use it instead of Tuaca. I feel like Tuaca's a little more sweet. But if you don't want this drink to be as strong, I would just swap it out for some vanilla syrup, and I think you'll be just fine. And then we'll be using a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of passion fruit syrup, and we're gonna be topping it off with some Fever Tree Premium ginger beer. And then last, we're gonna add a little touch of this Aztec Gold luster dust, food grade luster dust, so you can eat it, or in our case, drink it. And I got Aztec Gold because we had to do our boy justice, right? So this lineup makes for a very delectable and rich, complex cocktail. I actually got inspired by Death & Company's Golden Beautiful, appropriately named, if I do say so myself. But we took it and we made the Golden Sovereign, all right? So we're gonna do our little twist on it, made some tweaks, and I'm excited to try it out. So let's get to the pours. So instead of a shaking tin, we're gonna be using our mixing glass today. I wanted to mix the luster dust in. I feel like it's gonna have a better effect. So grab your mixing glass for this one, but you're more than welcome to shake it if you'd like. So first, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of our Reposado tequila. Next, we'll just do a 1/2 ounce of the Liquor 43. And then next, we'll do a 1/4 ounce of the Applejack brandy. And then we'll do a 1/2 ounce of our passion fruit syrup. And then 3/4 ounce of your freshly squeezed lemon juice. You know I love to squeeze my own citrus, so squeeze your citrus. And then a little goes a long way with the gold luster, so please just use a little bit. You don't want to go overboard with it. I mean, it's all edible, but I'm just using a little pinch. Part of a 1/8 of a teaspoon, literally, just that much. First, I'm gonna dry stir it, if you will, just to incorporate the luster dust into the liquids, and then I'm gonna add the ice, and then I will stir it with the ice. And then we're gonna add our ice. And then stir for about 15 to 20 seconds with the ice in the mixing glass. So after you're done stirring, grab your chilled glass. I'm going to be using a nice little fancy glass. I got a Goodwill, be surprised. And then I'm going to double strain it into the glass. And then last, we're gonna top it off with just a little bit of ginger beer. So grab your trusty bottle opener. Oh, I don't need a bottle opener, never mind. Top that bad boy off. And then we're going to garnish it with a diamond-shaped lemon peel because the gem on his head isn't just a little mark, it is actually the soul stone. So we're gonna do the soul stone. So there you have it, the Golden Sovereign Adam Warlock special. So we got nothing left to do except for to try the damn thing. So let's get into it. The Golden Sovereign. Excelsior, cheers. Whoa. That's really good. Wow, yeah, that's really tasty. It's not too strong either. I thought it was gonna be a little strong. There's a lot of liquor going on, but I kind of lowered the specs on it. So the passion fruit has some time to come through. The citrus is coming through. You get that vanilla on the end of your tongue, and it's absolutely delicious. That's really good. All right. I'm excited for you to try this. Do you want to try this?
Yes.
All right. Careful with the garnish. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
Whoa. Delicious.
For seconds.
That's really good. Go for seconds. That is really good. The Golden Beautiful that it's based on is actually a really great cocktail all in its own right. The tweaks I made are like, they use vanilla syrup, so it's a little sweeter. They don't use Applejack, but they do use a Reposado tequila, but this is delicious. It's the passion fruit. Passion fruit syrup comes up back in a big way. The ginger beer meshes really well with it. There's actually a lot going on. And I just added a luster dust for effect. So that, my true believers, is the Golden Sovereign. I like to use tequila in drinks that aren't margaritas, and when you do, it goes really well, like this one. So if you're following along at home, this stuff is pretty accessible for the most part. Actually, all the ingredients are pretty accessible. You should be able to find them at your local liquor stores or grocery stores. A lot of people were telling me that a lot of the ingredients I was using were very complicated, like green chartreuse you can't find anywhere. So I stepped off from the green chartreuse train, and I went with these ingredients, but these are all very easy to find. So follow along at home. It's a delicious cocktail, probably my favorite I've made so far. So we actually have a little bonus today. So this is my copy of Thor 165, but I have a raw copy, and I'm going to be giving it away to one lucky, not even subscriber, just one lucky commenter. I just want you to hashtag Excelsior, spell it right, hopefully, because otherwise I can't track it. But hashtag Excelsior in the comments, and you can add whatever else you want to the comments. You can comment down below another character you want to see me do, turn into a cocktail mocktail, and you'll be entered in. And if you subscribe, great, I appreciate it. If you like the video, great, I appreciate it. But those are not requirements. I just want you to comment Excelsior. And then you can give me a follow on Instagram as well, at Antihero_comics with a K. My initials are AK, so that's why the Antihero Comics is with a K. But just a little something I wanted to do to give back because of the launch of the channel. I was very excited to launch the channel. Kind of wanted to do a little giveaway. It's kind of a big giveaway. It's a pretty expensive key. So enter down below with a comment, hashtag Excelsior. You can add whatever else you want to your comment, just as long as it's not mean. Don't be mean. You don't need to be mean. Be kind. As always, love yourselves, love everyone else, love your friends and family, and love comic books, and love cocktails occasionally. Drink responsibly. Nerd out responsibly. I'm Antihero Comics, Avery, and until next time, true believers. Peace out.